Hello, and welcome to my Pre-Algebra review series. This video covers Chapter 2, Section 8, titled Inequalities and Their Graphs. By the end of this review, you will have re-explored the concepts of inequalities and their graphs. You will be graphing inequalities and writing inequalities. This includes graphing solutions of inequalities and writing inequalities to describe graphs. Please leave a like if you find this video to be helpful. Give your classmates a heads up too. It will more than likely help them, and it certainly will help this channel to be seen by more students. If you would like me to cover any of these topics in greater detail, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I read them and do my best to answer each as time permits. Please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon to be notified every time I release a new video. Thanks. Okay, before we get into it, we have a couple of definitions here. Inequality. An inequality is a mathematical sentence that contains a less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, or not equal to sign. Some inequalities contain variables. Solution of an inequality. Any number that makes the inequality true is a solution of the inequality. For example, -4 is a solution of the inequality y is greater than or equal to -5, because -4 is greater than or equal to -5. Objective number 1, graphing inequalities. So we'll start by repeating the definitions that I just read. An inequality is a mathematical sentence that contains a less than, a greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or a not equal sign. Some inequalities contain a variable. Any number that makes an inequality true is a solution of the inequality. For example, -4 is a solution of y is greater than or equal to -5 because -4 is greater than or equal to -5. You can graph the solution of an inequality on a number line, and we'll be doing some of that here. Okay, example 1, graphing solutions of inequalities. Graph the solution of each inequality on a number line. There are 4 of them here, and we're going to start off with the first one at A, and we're going to do the graph. It says y is less than 3. We're not talking about or equal, just plain less than. Y is less than 3. And when something is not, when you're talking about these number lines here and you're graphing, a dot at the point of that you're going to see here means that you're including the point, and a circle means that you are not. So if it said only less than, like this one here, y is less than 3, we're going to put a circle down. We're not going to put a dot at the 3. So let's see it. So when we go down here, we're going to graph it. Let's just start anywhere. We can say that this is number 0 here. And if this is number 0, here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. So now we're going to, and here's -1 here. If we're going to graph this, this is y is less than 3. So we're going to put a circle around the point 3 on the line and leaving it open. And then we're going to just draw our arrow like it's a little rough, but there it is. That's our line. Y is less than 3. Here's 3. There's a circle. So shade all points to the left. All points to the left of 3. X is greater than -1. So we're going to say here's -2. Here's -1. Here's 0, 1, 2, 3. And it's -1. And it is greater than. So here's -1. Again, we're going to put a circle around the -1. And then we're going to draw the line everything to the right. So this shows that -1 is not in the solution. Here, A is less than or equal to -2. So we're going to go, I'm going to make these a little bigger. I'm going to say 0, 1, 2, -1, -2. Okay? So now it says A is less than -2. Oh, maybe I should have started over a little bit. -2 is right here. And A, when is less than or equal to, we're going to fill this dot in. Now it's filled in. and we're taking all numbers to the left. So we're shading all points to the left of -2, including putting a dot on -2. -6 is less than or equal to G. Okay. So this is a little bit different, and then we're going to find -6. I'm going to bring -6 up into here. I'm going to say -6 is right here. And then this is -5, and this is -7 there, and -4. Okay, so G is less than -6. Well, G is whatever number we're going to pick. -6 is right here, and it's less than or equal. So I can start off by putting a dot right on the less than or equal. On the 6. So that's equal to -6. And it says that G, whatever dot or whatever dots we're going to fill, is 6 is less than that point. So that means that G is everything greater than -6, right? If -6 is less than G or equal to G, then here's G, and everything above 6, everything above 6 is a solution to that graph. So as you see, it says right down here at the bottom, it says shade all points to the right of -6. Okay, example 1, checking your understanding. This time you're going to get to do some graphing. So like we've done in the past, stop the video, think about these problems, try to draw them up. When you come back, we'll do them together. So go ahead and pause now. Okay, welcome back. I hope you got through them all okay. And let's give it a try. So for A, we're going to graph the solution of each inequality. So Z is less than -2. So I'm going to put -2 right out here. And I'm going with red, by the way. I've changed to red. It's easier to see, I think. -2, -3, -4. You see I'm skipping. So I'd have 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. I'm skipping them. So I'm going to skip 1 and go to -1 and 0. Okay, so now it says Z is less than. So Z is all the points that are going to be included in our line. Z is less than -2. Well, here's -2, and it's not less than or equal. It's just less than. So we have to draw a circle around -2. We can't include the -2 in our solution. But that circle means right up to -2, but not including it. And it's Z is less than that, so that means we're going to have all points, all points to the left. Let's try this one. 4 is greater than T. So I'm going to start with 4 right here, 5 here, 3 here, okay? And if this is 4 and it's greater than, so we're going to have a circle. Whatever it is, we're putting a circle around the 4. And T, 4 is greater than T. So that means that T is less than 4. So we're not including the 4, and we're including every dot to the left. Let's do C. C, the variable A is greater than or equal. So now we're going to have a dot. Then -5. So we're going to find -5. Now -5 is going right here in the middle. -4, and then this is -6 right out here, okay? So it's going to be including. So at -5, I'm going to put a dot right on the -5. Now all I have to do is decide, is the line going to the right or is the line going to the left? Well, it says A is the line. It's all the dots that make up the line. And A is greater than -5. So that means that greater than is all out here on this side, on the right-hand side. So we're going to put a red, everything to the right, including -5, the dot. Including, right there, greater than or equal. Here's another, greater than or equal. This time the number's 2. I'm going to write 2, 1, oh no, 3, I'm positive, 1, 0, okay? It's equal to, greater than or equal, so the line here, equal to, says I include the 2. So on 2, I'm going to put a dot, not a circle. And now I have to decide, are the dots that are associated with the line, all millions and zillions of dots that are making a line, which is C, are they to the right of 2 or to the left of 2? Well, it says 2 is greater than or equal to C. Well, that means that C has to be less than 2. Well, that means all of this is C less than 2. So here's our line and our arrow forever going in that direction. Okay, objective 2, writing inequalities. It says right here, you can write an inequality for a graph. So we're going to get some graphs shown to us, and we're going to write inequalities. So example 2, writing inequalities to describe the graphs. We're going to write an inequality shown in each graph. So I guess I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll use A and B, the letters for each problem. A is the variable in the first, and B is the variable in the second. That'll be fun. So it says, we see right here that we have a circle. So that should tell you right away that it means greater than or less than, but not the equal part. So we're going to be dealing with a greater than or less than. And here we're seeing that the variable part, in our case I said it was going to be A, we're going to use A, is the line, right? So where the line is, all the dots that make up the line are what make up A. A can be replaced for all of these dots. So it's A is what? Is A, the simple thing we could say is A is greater than, not including 0. We're not going to include 0, but it's A is greater than 0. There's that solution. Let's go to B. Now our variable is going to be called B. So we're going to say B is what? Well, there's a big old dot right here, so that means it's greater than or equal to, but it is including the equal to, so you use a dot. And it's B is everything that it's less than this number here, is a -1. The dot is on -1. The line is everything that makes up B, and that's all less than, because it's going to the left. Less than -1. So B is less than or equal to -1. See it? Good. Okay, example 2, check your understanding. Directions, write an inequality for the graph below. And this is your turn. You can turn the video off, stop it, try this on your own, write it. And then when you come back, we'll do it together. So why don't you go off and do it? Okay, now that you're back, we're going to go ahead and see if we can write this inequality. So it doesn't matter what variable we use. We can use A, B, C, D, Q. It doesn't matter. So let's just choose X. So I'm going to write down here, I'm going to say X. Okay, so X what? Well, I see there's a 3 and there's a dot. Well, the dot means something about equal to, because the dot is filled. If it was a circle, it would not be equal to. It would just be greater than or less than. But now it's including, so it's either greater than or less than, but whatever it is, it's also equal to 3. So if it's a dot, so it's got the greater than, it has the equal to, and the line goes off to the right. So that means when it goes off to the right, it means X, which is all the values of the line, the X values are the line. That means that they are going to be greater than, X is going to be greater than 3. Because all the dots are all going to greater than positions. So we're going to say X is greater than, but it's also equal to 3. Greater than or equal to 3. And there's the solution. Okay, example 3, real-world problem solving. Food can be labeled low sodium. That's the key, low sodium, only if it meets the requirement established by the federal government. The table below, or use the table below to write an inequality for this requirement. So the requirement we're speaking of here is the low sodium requirement. Because if you look at this, we have sodium-free, very low sodium, and right here we have the low sodium requirement. So we're going to be writing our inequality based on the low sodium requirement. Okay? So in words, it says a serving of low sodium food, okay, has at most, so here it is, at most 140 milligrams per serving. As at most 140 milligrams of sodium. Okay? Milligrams of sodium? No. Oh yeah, it is sodium. Sorry. So we're going to let S equal the number of milligrams of sodium in a serving of low sodium food. So the inequality is what? S is we're letting S be our value for the sodium, the number of milligrams of sodium. And is it less than or equal or just less than? Well, it says this low sodium food is at most. So at most implies it can be 140, but it can't be any more than 140 because at most it could be 140. So it means it's going to be less than that because it can be at most that much. Less than 140 or equal to 140. So we have less than or equal to 140 milligrams. Okay, and here's example 3. Check your understanding. So now it's your turn. We're going to use the table. It's the same table. So they want us to write a different rule, okay? So use the table in the example. A certain food is labeled as sodium-free. Sodium-free. Write an inequality for N, the number of milligrams of sodium in a serving of this sodium-free food. So what are we looking for? Well, I'm going to give you time. First of all, I'm going to let you do it. Well, as I see here, it's already done for you, so I guess I can't let you do it. So we're going to do it together. So it's sodium-free. Here it is, sodium-free food right here. Sodium-free food has less than 5 milligrams per serving. So that means that less than means it can't have 5 milligrams. It has to be less than 5 milligrams. So that implies that there's no equal sign in this. So a serving of low sodium food has less than 5 milligrams of sodium. N is the number of milligrams of sodium in the serving. So we're going to say N is less than 5. And that's it. N less than 5. There's our answer.